Hello, friends! Welcome to this week's hashtag TBD Fangirls Review. I'm Jordan, and
I'm out.
we are here to talk about episode 421 entitled She's Come Undone. We start off with Elena still in the Salvatore, dungeon, and Damon's trying to be all sweet and give her a dream, to try to bring some of those human feels back, because, they're trying to do it the nice way, so they don't have to torture her. Caroline's like, well, no, let me talk to her, because I can get through to her. And Elena's just like, are you seriously talking about graduation right now? Like, my brother just died. Everyone that I care about is dead. Respect, Caroline. Respect. And BTW, sorry about your boyfriend leaving town. Ha 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 ha. Too bad Klaus left before you could bang him. And then Elena tried to kill her again. Of course, because that's what Elena does when she doesn't have her humanity on. She just kills everybody. And so Caroline snaps her neck and just like, whatever, Stefan, go ahead and torture her. And then we have Elena, and they're, they got her tied to a chair, and they're gonna start burning her with the sunlight. And Caroline's outside talking on the phone to Bonnie. She's hiding from Silas, apparently. And, she and Catherine are having a little meeting in some kind of unknown restaurant. And she wants Catherine to bring her the tombstone. And she's just like, what's in it for me? And she goes, oh, believe me, it'll be worth your while. Then Elena is just talking a whole bunch of shit. She's like, oh, you're not gonna burn me. You love me. So they burn her. And after they burn her, she's just like, I want to kill you. And they're like, yes, express some of that human emotion, Elena. Just let it out. Just let it out. And she's like, whatever. You guys are so pathetic. She says more shit. She talks about the sire bond. She talks about how she broke up with Stefan. She tries to hurt both of them emotionally. And then they burned her again. And they just keep doing that. And meanwhile, Rebecca decides she's going to come over to the Salvatore's house. So she goes over there and she brings some burgers. And she's just like, nah, here's a peace offering, because you're the only human here. So have some burgers. And Caroline's just like, shut up, bitch, go away. So then she said, Matt, I know you're failing some of your classes, so, I can help you study. And Caroline's, no, bitch, I'm gonna help you study. And so Caroline decides to leave, and she's trying to get in her car. She hears noises. She turns around, and it's Klaus. And she's like, oh my god. It's not really Klaus, it's Silas. Because, that's what happens when the character says everything that you want him to say, and then it's not really him, of course. And he's like, you tell me where Bonnie is, or I'm going to kill everyone you love. So we've heard that before. And she's like, I really don't even know where Bonnie is. Meanwhile, Stefan and Damon are like, dude, we've been burning her for, the whole day, and we're not getting through to her. She knows that we're not gonna hurt her, because we love her. So we have to get somebody in here that can, torture her into some humanity. And so they're like, who's that? Well, Catherine, of course. And so they call Catherine, and Catherine comes over, and she ends up failing big time because Elena just brings up all of Catherine's past mistakes and how pathetic she is because she's been running her whole life, and her boyfriends that all, abandoned her. She brings up Kalijah. Big mistake. And so Catherine's just like, whatever, I give up on this shit. I'm just gonna, leave this door unlocked and this bitch can find her own way around town, and she'll probably die in the process. She comes upstairs to get a drink, has a little moment with Damon. Then Stefan comes up and he's like, guys, Elena's gone. And so, meanwhile, Caroline's running around, freaking out because Silas is in her head, so he's appearing like as everybody. She's trying to get to her mom because Silas threatened her mom. And she comes in to the house, and her mom's there. And she doesn't know if it's her mom or not, because it could be Silas. But then she calls her cell phone, and it is her mom, because her mom picks up. And she's still trying to get a hold of Bonnie this whole time, because she doesn't know where she is. But Silas wants to see her. And meanwhile, we have Elena in the woods stumbling around. And Matt comes up and she's like, "Oh, Matt, I'm so glad to see you. Here, let me eat you." And he's like, "No, no, no, Elena. We're best friends. You can't eat me." She's like, "Yeah, well, I'm hungry, so I don't care." And she feeds on him. And then we go back over to Caroline, who Bonnie finally shows up at her house, but she's like, "I don't even know if this is Bonnie. It could be Silas. Like, anybody could be Silas." And then Caroline's mom goes up behind her. She's like, "What's going on?" And Bonnie's like, "Dude, that's not your mom." And Caroline's like, "Oh my gosh, it's Silas!" And she's like, "Where's my mom?" And he's like, "Oh, she's just lying there, almost dead on the floor." And Bonnie and Silas have this little conversation. Silas was like, "Dude, you cannot hide from me, because when you hide from me, I start to think that you've abandoned me, and I need you to do this spell." And she's just like, "Silas, calm the fuck down. I'm gonna do your stupid spell." And Caroline's trying to revive her mother, because her mother's like lying there nearly dead on the floor. Then meanwhile in the woods, Elena wants to just keep feeding on Matt, even though she's already fed on him. And Damon and Stefan show up to save him. And Stefan, is all on Elena, like, "Okay, back up." Damon grabs Matt and is like, "Okay, Elena, listen to this. You say you don't care about anybody, so why not, just kill him right here?" And she's like, "No, Damon, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't kill him. You're bluffing." And then Damon snapped Matt's neck and killed him. And Elena's just like, "Ah!" And then you see, like, all these emotions just come flooding back. And then Damon's like, "Oh, you feel that? That's your emotions coming out. And your humanity's coming back. And, okay, BTW, he has a ring on, so he's not really dead." And she freaked out about everybody that she had tried to kill or had killed. And then she finally calmed down a little bit to go back into the house. Caroline's trying to revive her mother, meanwhile at her house. And there is a moment where we think, "Oh, Sheriff Forbes is just, she's gone. And, there's a lot of, crying, and it's crazy. And she's not gone. Thankfully, Caroline gives her an EpiPen shot, and she wakes up. And then we have another Bonnie and Catherine scene, where Catherine's like, "Hey, I know why you want the tombstone. You want the tombstone because it's filled with your, dead relatives' blood, so you wouldn't even have to have the full moon to bring all those people back from the dead. You could just do it whenever you wanted, so you want the power, Bonnie." And she's like, "Yep." And then Elena's at the house. They come in and they're all like, "So are you okay?" Like, she's like, "No, I still feel awful. Thanks for asking again. But you know what? I just have so many things to do. Like, I have to, go. I have a million things to do." And they're like, "What are you talking about?" And she's like, "No, but, you don't understand. When you told me to focus all my energy on something so that I could stay grounded as a human, I focused all my energy on one thing. And that was the reason that my life was destroyed, and your lives were destroyed, and my brother's dead. It's Catherine. And we have to kill her. I'm gonna kill her." Opinions?
On what? There's, so much. I do, I'm not usually Caroline, but I really enjoyed this scene, even though it wasn't even Klaus. My favorite bit was when he was like, "What are you afraid of?" And she was like, "You." I also really I liked Elena all the way through the episode. Elena was a bad bitch during this episode. I'm gonna miss evil Elena. I know she's a bitch and everything, but I just like that she can break anyone down. She's hard. I'm kind of on Rebecca's side. Also, the idea that Elena would kill her best girlfriend easily and then Matt dies and she starts freaking out, it's a bit hard to believe. It seemed like they just really wanted to turn her humanity back on, and they were like, "Guys, we need a way to do this." I'm generally not too picky about out of character, in character, whatever, so it doesn't really bother me. But I have to say, if I'm being honest, the fact that it was Matt of all people, I'd have preferred if maybe both the Salvatores were about to die and she had to pick between one, and then she was freaking out, and then that's how it became turned back on. I feel like she loved them more than she loved Matt. So the fact that she's so horrible to him, and then Matt dies, and suddenly everything, it just seems like you just put a magic bullet or did a spell.
That actually is a good point that you brought up, that she tried to kill Caroline and Bonnie, yet didn't really care, but then they kill Matt, and she's just like, oh my gosh, like, I can't even handle this. Yeah, that is really strange to me, that she cares, you know, supposedly loves Bonnie as a sister, but, you know, she was gonna kill her. I mean, at the time when I was actually watching it, though, I was just like, oh, finally. When, Matt died, I didn't know about the ring at first, so at first I was, you know, I was just like, no, like, that didn't just happen. And then they set the ring, and I was like, okay, alright. When Sheriff Forbes almost died, I was like, bawling. I was like, no! No! Sheriff Forbes! You can't die! Caroline can't be an orphan! But then she was alive, and I was just like, oh my gosh, thank goodness. Like, so many feels throughout this episode. Silas has just turned out to be one crazy maniac. Like, he used to be all nice. When he was like Professor Shane, he's all, oh, Bonnie, you're so cool. And now he's like, Bonnie, I'm gonna kill everyone you love. I'm really not really looking forward to Catherine dying, which we all know that it's gonna happen because, let's face it, they're not gonna kill off Elena. And when Catherine and Elena face off, it's gonna be one of them, so.
Yeah. Cole is gonna be here in the next episode. I know she won't be there for long, right? It's gonna be a ghost. But Cole, from prom, I was so scared for Tyler.
And like Elena apparently punches Stefan in the promo, and I'm just like, I don't know. It could be Silas.
So yeah.
It's kind of out of character for her. I'm like, why? I mean, you know, I know you're angry and everything, but like, why would she punch? It doesn't make any sense. Unless he's being really, really super annoying and like, don't kill Catherine. She's like, get out of my way, bitch.
I do feel like Elena's always kind of been ruthless. Like, I'll never forget the way she daggers Rebecca back at Homecoming. I mean, that was cold. Even David was like, damn, girl. I know she's a vampire then, but when she killed Cole, like, she happily murdered hundreds of thousands of vampires, and she didn't give a crap because she wanted what she wanted. So I think that for the blood in her runs thick. Like, she's a nice person because she's had a nice upbringing, and like Catherine had a lot to deal with, but for Elena, she got what she wanted, so she never had to be cold because she got what she wanted. Now, ever since Klaus came into the picture, he's made Klaus and Catherine, they've made her life very difficult for her, and that's why she's acting out against them, because she just wants her life to be easy, and she doesn't like not being number one, and it is a bad thing, but at the same time, he doesn't want it, like, their life like that. But I think Elena's always been ruthless, she's always gotten what she wanted. I like Elena, I like people who get what they want and like they work for it. In a way, I almost prefer, like, even though I love Rebecca, sometimes it annoys me how Rebecca like lets people trample all over her. I'm like, you want to go get what you want, don't listen to anybody telling you who. I do agree that she should get her ass out of Mystic Falls, so there's nothing good for her there. Go somewhere new, find some new people, find a sexy vampire, live a happy life. But
if you are a fan of TBD, or if you know anybody who's a fan of TBD, please follow our Tumblr. It's the #fangirls.tumblr.com. We also have a Twitter, so if you have a Twitter, you can follow us at the TBD Fangirls. Keep fangirling on!